No matter where life takes you, you never forget your first home.
You get quite isolated in a bigger city. That was part of the reason for deciding to move back.
This is not a cold hard kind of property transaction. This is her generational family home.
But sometimes the memories that bring you back can stop you moving on.
Give me what you don't like about it.
There is no way that you will get me to agree with that.
It wouldn't really be my style.
It just looks like it's not put together well. I have,
Do you want to rephrase that?
In the 14 years Karen Mulligan spent living and working in London, she never lost touch with the place where she was born and raised, Charlestown, County Mayo, or the home and family business on Chapel Street where she spent her childhood.
I was raised here, lived here until I was 14 or 15 years of age. 4 siblings and my parents in this property, so the butcher shop at the front, and then we lived back here and upstairs. It has many great memories. It was a very social house. I have great love for it. That's what it means to me, and that's what I want to continue. I want to make it that social house again, where everybody can feel they can knock on the door, come in the back and just chat and catch up, yeah.
Even though it ceased to be a family home nearly 3 decades ago, the butcher shop was as important to the Mulligans as it was to the life of the town. And then 7 years ago, everything changed.
So the shop closed in 2017. And that was after my dad was diagnosed with a brain tumour, and he had to get treatment for it and was no longer able to kind of continue delivering the service. Ultimately, he had to make a decision to close it, which was very hard for him to do and very hard for him to pass by the shop after. But it kind of gave him joy to hear that something would happen with it and it would turn it into a lively place again.
Morning, Karen.
Hi Dermot, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Lovely little town, isn't it?
It is, it's lovely.
Do you want to bring me inside? Let's
I
have a
will,
look.
yes, come on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Everything is still on the shelves. When did the shop close?
Mid-2017.
So nothing has been touched?
Nothing has been touched. We did take a lot of stuff, but my dad was ill for a period of time after it closed. So looking after Dad was the priority while he was ill and making sure he had good quality of life. That was what our focus was on, rather than what happens to the shop at that time.
Yeah, attentions all kind of went to him.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. What's in through this door?
This is where we grew up. It's the kitchen.
This is the house. This is the actual house.
Yeah. This property currently has 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a butcher shop, a sitting room and a kitchen. This is the kitchen.
Okay, this hasn't been lived in for a while, has it?
No, it hasn't, that's for sure. This is what was the sitting room before we left it.
This was the sitting room with all the hooks.
My father turned it into a kind of functioning area for the shop.
Okay. So this was the back garden.
This was the back garden. There's a lot to do before we even start building. The demolition project will be a huge one because it's front to back and it is a long, narrow property.
Right, so these are your sheds. That's the shed to next door, is it?
Yes, yeah.
So these group of houses, they were all owned by the same family, your family.
My family.
And there was no real boundaries then. Once you kind of came out through the back door, there was doors, there was passageways, there was connections, there was gates. So all of these kind of little yards at the back of the houses were all kind of...
Connected.
Okay, so this gets narrower and narrower, doesn't it?
It does.
Right, what's in here?
In here is the abattoir.
The what?
The abattoir.
Like proper, like abattoir?
Proper abattoir. The abattoir, when we were here, was a farm-to-table type environment. It was just their livelihood.
All happened in here?
Yeah.
It's such a lovely idea. I think it's a really lovely idea to drive through a town and a village and to see these old buildings and think, wouldn't it be really cool to live here, living back in the centre of a town? You can walk down to the pub, you can walk to the shop, walk in through the door, and you see what's behind a lot of these derelict buildings. And you can see why people don't take them on. A little bathroom there.
Yeah.
I feel like ducking down coming into this room. Everything is so low,
It
isn't
got
it?
lower as the property went
So
back.
it's like as the back garden gets narrower, the house gets lower. This is like something out of Harry Potter. It literally is at my head. What's really kind of nice about up here is there's a lovely view,
It's a beautiful view.
isn't there?
Yeah.
This is the first place you kind of get to. You're in the countryside of Ireland. I know you're in a town or a village, but the fact that you're at the edge, just you have to bend down to see it.
That's it, exactly.
Whose room was this?
This was my mum and dad's room.
And then there's a great view from here, isn't there? Over
Yeah.
to the church. And it's kind of nice being at this level, isn't it?
It's lovely being at this level.
Jesus.
Don't bounce.
I'm not. Do you feel the whole house shake?
You'll end up on that slicer.
I suppose look, it hasn't been touched for a long time. Like even your parents, when did your parents move out? When did you move out as a family?
Probably around 95.
Okay, so that's 25, that's nearly 28 years ago.
When I left Charlestown, I left to go to Dublin to college. I went to London and I stayed in London for 14 years. I work in marketing, so I'm able to continue my career with working remotely, but also travelling to Dublin to my office every week. This is a townhouse. It's in the centre of town.
Yeah.
My family live out and around the town.
Okay.
And if they want to come to town, I want them to feel welcome to come here. You get quite isolated in a bigger city. I did miss that easy access to friends and family, and that was part of the reason for deciding to move back.
What's the dream? What would you love this to be?
Well, at the base of it, I want a 3-bed townhouse. The must-haves that I want from the design would be 3 beds and 2 bathrooms. The crucial part for me is that open plan living space of the kitchen, dining, living area, because when family and friends are around, we like to scatter but be in the same room at the same time.
What's your budget for it?
So the budget is 290 in total, and that's to include grants if we can get them.
I suppose to Karen, she's thinking, right, 290,000, it's an incredible amount of money to be pumping into a small townhouse. The problem is that this is so derelict and so run down and in such bad condition that to even start putting it right is going to eat half that amount of money.
Despite that grim forecast, Dermot is back in Charlestown a month later with a plan.
Right, Karen. What I've done here is I flipped the house upside down. Okay, I've put all the living accommodation on the first floor because I think it gets those lovely views to the church and back over the fields. And I suppose those houses worked for a couple of 100 years. You know, people living in the town, and it worked because they lived above the shop. So, I know you asked for a 3rd bedroom. So in order to get a decent bedroom, we need to pull the building apart and get us a courtyard into the middle of it. This is a long, narrow site with multiple ad hoc extensions, including an old abattoir, all blocking light and views to the rear. Clearing these away will reveal the original footprint of the house. The old shop front may have been good for business, but that doesn't make for privacy. That's why I'm flipping the living space to the first floor, just like back in the day when the family lived above the butcher shop. All the bedrooms will now be on the ground floor. There's a double room to the front and a utility space tucked under the stairs to the first floor. Then, a new central courtyard will bring light and ventilation like a lung into the middle of the house. Beyond that, a new extension will have a guest bedroom, a bathroom and Karen's ensuite bedroom facing out to the rear. Upstairs, the original first floor will become a large vaulted living space overlooking the view of the church grounds to the front of the house, ideal for those family gatherings. To the rear, separated by the bright light well of the internal courtyard, a new kitchen and dining space will overlook the fields beyond the town. So, I'm going to just quickly start with the budget, okay? So the works just to the front part here are coming at 112,000. The new extension is 155,000. The external works are 20,000. We're getting 20,715 in SEAI grants. We're getting the vacant home funding of 30,000, and we're getting the derelict home of 20,000. There's almost 70,000 there of grants going back into that. That brings a total cost of 287,000. Now our budget is 290, so we're 3 grand under.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're not getting everything that we wanted.
That's right.
Okay, in order to get everything that you want, which is the 3rd bedroom, right, That's adding on 55,000 in costs, bringing a final budget of 342,000.
In my mind, the budget is at its cut-off point at 290,000.
Is it that much of a deal breaker?
Right now it is.
Okay.
It is the first item on my list, is the 3 bedrooms. And I know it seems a sticking point at the minute, but because it has been there for the last couple of years in my mind that that's what this house will be, it's going to take a bit for me to change my mind if it's a case that I do.
This is not a cold hard kind of property transaction. This is her generational family home, and then to not get everything that you want. It's really, really hard for her. And I feel for her, and I get it. But we've got to move this on. Otherwise, she's going to be stuck with a dream.
Deviation from this point forward, so tight. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. No changes can happen.
And so, with a new plan and a very fragile revised budget in place, the Mulligans get started on a clear-out they've been putting off for 7 years.
The drawings are agreed upon, the budget is agreed upon. So we need to take what you want from the shop at this point, because whatever's left, it all goes in the skip then after that.
So anything we don't take is thrown out?
Yes, yeah.
Forever?
Forever.
Everything we've ever had is gone?
Yes.
I'll take the kettle, so I'll be off.
Yeah, I need to take the burger maker. I've made.
Burger maker.
Yeah. Right, lads, if I get this cleaned up, we're having burgers next week. Yeah. Deal.
You put the mince in there.
No,
and then
you put the
close
paper
it.
down, mince, and then another paper, and then close it.
And then pull that down, squish it, open it back up,
Yeah.
then you have your burger. So we do that like 200 times.
Did you?
And look on zone. Brilliant. Jeez, I remember I was cycling around the back. I was going one way and Vinnie Doc was going the other way, and both of us just smashed into each other. We were only 10 years old. Good times. What's that?
Oh my gosh. That's Mom's wedding rose. I thought that was missing.
If anyone would marry us, one of us could get it altered. Just not sure anyone's stupid enough. We'll have to keep that.
Yes, definitely. We'll restore it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's emotional, like, as in, you know, saying goodbye to it all just kind of feels like you're saying your last goodbyes to Mum and Dad, you know. Like, it is really emotional, but it's going to be great, and I'll always have a bed in Karen's.
Yes.
And, like, it's amazing what you're doing, Karen. Genuinely it is, and Mum and Dad will be so proud of you. They genuinely would be. I am.
Thank you.
No, I know, we just have to move on.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's it. That's it. Life goes on.
He did.
And you make it go on.
He did.
In September, with planning approved, the build at Charlestown goes to site for €344,000, including grants. Local contractor Brian Forkin and his crew are now 7 days into what will be a fairly challenging project.
The biggest problems with it has been, I suppose, we're in between two properties. The site is very narrow as well, so access in and out is tight. Look, it's a terraced house. These are the kind of jobs. This is the way it is, you know, there's nothing you can do. You just have to make the best of your way home on it, you know.
Look at that skill. Do you get a bonus after this? How does all this feel?
I think it's making me nervous, but it's nervous for what I'm doing to the property. 'Cause
Okay.
you're kind of packing it away, that aspect of 2 generations of family.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I'm excited by looking to the future and seeing what we'll make of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it a little bit of there's no turning back now?
There's definitely no turning. A little bit scary. to be honest. Worried about what's going to be uncovered through the build. Obviously, it's an old building. It's a terraced house. It's attached to neighbouring buildings. It's also exciting as well because it's the start of building something new here.
4 weeks later, everything but the side walls and the facade of the original shop have been cleared, making way for a new ground floor slab. Today, Karen will see the footprint of her new, old home for the first time.
Now, so this is 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Your bedroom at the back.
Yeah.
So we see where all of these are popped up. These are for your toilets and wash hand basins.
Yeah.
And then so from about here down is your bedroom.
Okay, great.
It's huge. And look at
Yeah.
your view.
Yeah.
So this is it now. This is the turning point.
Yeah.
You do get to a point where it's positivity now. It's building it back up. It's forming rooms. It's going to be phenomenal. So we're at this point now, which is.
I'm ready for it now.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Go on, do it.
Yeah.
Let it go, and we're onwards and upwards from here.
Yeah. I'm on my way to Charlestown's Mothers and Others' first ever Blitz. When I moved away, I only moved away for a year first, and I spent 14 years away, and I thought I would never get the chance to move back. I love days like today. This is exactly the reason that I've come back.
And Karen's not the only one to feel this town's boomerang effect.
We were in Australia for 12 and a half years. We're both originally from Charlestown. And I guess it just came to the stage in our lives where it was either stay or come back. And we wanted the girls to have the same upbringing that we had. And yeah, we're very happy, no regrets.
The thing about this community is you never leave. So fitting back in isn't the thing. So Karen is just slotting back into her old routine with her old friends.
We're very excited about Karen moving back because she's one of our really good friends, isn't she? The kids love when she comes visiting. So we're dying to see what the project is going to be like. Well, I was thinking about it this morning. I was thinking 50 years ago somebody wrote a book and it was called No One Shouted Stop, and it was about the death of rural Ireland, and particularly it was a Charlestown writer who wrote it. He was John Healy from Charlestown, and that's come full circle now. Like, we have an airport on our doorstep, everybody is moving back. We've all gone away, we've all got great degrees, great professions, and we've come back and brought those back to the community.
Today has definitely taken my mind off the build for a few hours anyway, until it's all over and I have to go back to it.
Back on site, work continues on the new rear extension. With the carefully tweaked internal layout in place, Dermot and Karen are meeting Brian to consider the next phase of the build.
Wow, so this is your room.
Yeah, this is my bedroom, essentially.
We get the morning sunlight coming in here.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
You happy?
I'm very happy.
Right, onwards. Let's have a look at this. So this is our middle room.
Yes.
The bonus room, isn't it?
The bonus
This
room,
is what
yeah.
I suppose we did all of the manipulating of the plan and the shoving and the pulling to get this room, because
Yeah.
you really, really want the 3rd bedroom. Friends staying over?
Yes.
Family
Friends,
staying?
family. Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite rooms in the house. I
Really?
love this window. I feel like we can do something lovely with the courtyard.
There's obviously not a huge amount of light coming in now because we've got
Yeah.
all the scaffolding boards above, but when they come out, like, that will be a nice little light well. But just something really simple, a couple of lights in there, and it'll be lovely.
Be really nice.
Because you'll see down on it from above as well.
That's right, yeah.
So so we need to start thinking about that. And
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Right, we'll go up and have a look at the main show upstairs.
Let's do it. It's great.
It's absolutely amazing,
Isn't it?
Wasn't it worth kind of coming up to the first floor to live?
Yes, definitely.
That's just gorgeous now. And looking into the living room from here, like, this is a great space.
It is. Really is.
Like, this design throughout the tender process, in trying to get it down within her budget, has changed I don't know how many times. And what happens with that is things move and shift and crack. What we have to do now is take all of those little eccentricities that are a result of cost-cutting measures and try and make something really nice out of them. I love this room, and actually now that you see the joists exposed, the ceiling that's above me, I'd love to see all those rafters painted up. I'd love to see them exposed. I think that if we left them exposed and you just get this lovely texture on the ceiling, it will make the place feel a little bit taller, a little bit higher, and
Yeah.
I think it'll really work. All the little eccentricities and all the little problems that are kind of here in the house because of the cost cutting That's where we need to make opportunities. I'd like to keep this a little bit more kind of simpler and more industrial.
I don't really have a problem with the height as it is.
Karen, if she hasn't seen it before, she's very reluctant to go with it. What I'm seeing is that we'll see what we see now. It'll be just painted up this white or the same colour as the ceiling. Once the ceiling comes into it, it'll start to bring this down a little bit, and Karen can't see that.
It wouldn't really be my style, and I wouldn't love that type of design. However, I don't know, I can't visualise what you're...
Okay, I need her to think beyond the box. I need her to trust me, because I think if she can do that, this space, this house has got the potential to be something really, really great and punching way above its weight. Look, let's see, just if we can make it work here, I think this would make an amazing ceiling in here.
It wouldn't be a style that I would go for. I understand the point of view that it is to give the ceiling a little bit more height. However, I'd need to see the visuals to make a decision on that, but I'm really kind of more for a smooth ceiling.
Exposed.
To kind of to come in and get the feel of a nice, contemporary, modern home. And do you see what's on the ceiling?
Yes, joists.
Exposed.
Yeah. It creates an atmosphere in this room,
yeah.
Those joists in particular.
It does, doesn't it? And that's kind of was what I was trying to do in your house.
I need to think a little bit on it, whether I would like that in my kitchen. I'm not convinced that it would definitely work in my kitchen space. However, I see it in a different light now. I've never seen this open joist before.
I just think this is just gorgeous. So the fact that they've kept the main palette of materials really, really simple, they've had great fun then with a couple of bits. Do you think we could have a little bit of fun somewhere?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I love pops of colour.
Referencing back to what the building was originally?
Oh yeah.
A butcher shop?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yes. No, I think it'd be a great idea to pay reference back to the fact it was a butcher shop in various areas through the house.
Is that like a free reign?
No, not a free reign, but I'm all up for it. Dermot spoke about bringing in a fun element to it, and the fact that that fun element could pay kind of reference to what the house was previously, which was my dad's shop and my granddad's shop. It's exciting to think about what could happen with that as well.
Isn't this amazing though? Look at this.
Wow.
So this is the bedroom, right? And the bedroom looks right out onto the lane. So it couldn't be more public. And look what they've done here. They've created this amazing green wall at the front of it. Like, who would have thought you put a bedroom window in and you plant the entire front of it with bamboos?
Yeah.
So look at this, right?
Oh, wow.
So that just goes over. But it's a shutter that gives you privacy, but it doesn't block off any of the light.
Yeah.
It's really cool, isn't it?
It is very cool.
Simple solution. Just using planting. Let's think of the things we would like to look at.
Yeah.
So nobody really wants to kind of build big walls and look at walls. Nobody ever minds looking at plants.
That's true.
But that is pretty cool, isn't it?
So clever. Just the entire interior design, it would never be something I would have imagined, but it really sets me thinking what can happen now in the upstairs space to keep it so simple, yet so warm and inviting.
London is a place for me.
Having spent 14 years of her life in this city, Karen's return to the Big Smoke wouldn't be complete without a catch-up with the old gang.
Cheers, Karen.
Cheers, Karen.
Back in London. Huh?
Back in London, yes.
Happy days.
Happy days.
So, what was life like? Is this London life for you guys?
We went out all the time.
You worked hard, you played hard,
Worked
right?
hard, played hard. Was it nice to have people from your hometown and home county? Really?
Back in the early days, we used to flock to the Irish pubs and that. Then we became a bit more cultured. Like.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hit, and one day she just went, you know, I love it here, but I want to go home.
Karen has been an incredible daughter. So you were over and back looking after Bernie and Anthony so much. And it's always been family first.
So you've seen that. So you guys were you surprised when she said that I'm going home?
No. When I knew Karen made up her mind, that's it. That was it. And so then you have to be mindful and respectful. As much as you're going to miss that person, 100% it is the best thing to do.
I got to meet the friends. The lovely bunch. And they're all really excited for her. I think they just see it as her setting up a branch of their friendship back in Charlestown. They now have somewhere to go.
Definitely the right move, isn't it? It's definitely the right move.
But like we know that house so well, because we would have been in and out of that house as kids, into the shop, into the back. So it's great. It's great that it's just going to have a new life and it's going to do something different.
You won't be able to pass the door again.
When you were taking that new job, you said, I'll be able to come to London, but she's going to have her piece of heaven. So, and that's what it's going to be, to turn that into your ideal home and still be able to come over and annoy us all and tell us that we have to go out to the West End. It'll be a hard life, girls.
One thing that you were adamant about, and you broke my heart with the 3 bedrooms.
But you see now why I need it.
I totally see it. Who could you exclude? I know now why she needs the extra bedrooms, and I know why she just said, I want an open door policy. I was thinking, oh, really? Do we all? Yeah, I see it. It just gave me an insight into her. They're all coming to stay.
Yeah.
I think it's energised her. They're just egging her on. And she needed this. She needed this trip back here to see them, to connect with them, but also to give that boost that they love the fact that she's doing this. And it's just amazing to see.
Back in Charlestown, the butcher shop may be gone, but there's one room in this new house that will embody the welcoming atmosphere of Karen's old family home, the kitchen.
I have 2 layouts done here for your kitchen. They're very similar, right? So basically we're going to have a tall bank of units down that end, and then we're going to drop down and do a counter here.
Yep.
Okay, it designs itself, and then we have an island unit, or a peninsula, kind of sitting here. And we're going to go with the option where we're putting the hob in the island.
Yeah, we might extend the island a small bit more if the hob has gone in it.
Just
down
about 3 metres, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see this in bright green or bright pink, but like, look at that.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do like that, actually, yeah. You're in shock.
I was really, really surprised that she went straight for the bold colours. I'm now a little bit scared because I've planted this seed. I now have to live up to it. So greens, blues, reds.
Blues, oranges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this colour blue?
This colour blue, yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
That easy.
I think I did catch him off guard with the kitchens, but I've always wanted pops of colour through my kitchen.
I've loads of white ones at the background here. I was kind of going in order of shock value. See, look, they were getting calmer as you went back.
Yeah.
But I got you on page 1.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant that she bought into it. Like, I couldn't believe she did, but it's kind of scary because I really didn't think she'd go for it. Now it's put it back on me, and it's a little bit of be careful what you wish for. I know I've heard through the grapevine you've made a call on the rafters.
No, rafters, or
Why?
the joists, just, I'm not won over by them as being exposed. I would prefer that the joists aren't there. The exposed joists aren't there.
This is the room that is the tightest, and it's the kind of the normal ceiling height, and we have an opportunity now to make it slightly better than normal, and we're kind of killing it.
I don't see that.
It's doing 2 things. It's showing how the building's made. It's giving a bit of rhythm and a bit of texture to the ceiling. It's creating a bit more ceiling height. I just think it's a no-brainer.
For me, this would be 110% with no exposed joists.
And Karen is just kind of making a call on it. I don't like it. Well, it's a design aesthetic, though. It's doing something that once that becomes a texture as opposed to a flat ceiling, it will really change the dynamic of this room. Otherwise, what we're doing is we're completely wrapping it on 4 sides and kind of looking out one window. Like, this is an opportunity. This is going to be really cool. It's going to elevate it from being a room to a piece of architecture, to a piece of design. And you don't want it.
And the joists just, I don't want them.
It just seems, I can't believe it. You don't even want to sleep on it?
No, I've slept on it. After London, I thought about it a lot.
Like, I don't know what else I can do. Like, her mind is made up, and that's it. And I just think it's a massive mistake.
Those joists may not be exposed for much longer, but thankfully, neither will the house. A few days later, a delicate job begins for Brian and his crew, manoeuvring large frames on a small site.
Took a couple of weeks to get the design kind of ironed out and everyone happy to proceed. So came today anyway. A little bit kind of difficult getting materials in with the narrow site and stuff. So all went well, and happy enough.
The colour's brilliant. It's really a great milestone to achieve, and now we can fly on the inside.
By the end of the day, the house is finally immune to the weather. But when it comes to the interior layout, conditions remain, well, changeable.
Right, Karen, the bedroom. We originally had the bed located there. This was a wardrobe. It was all working very nice and slick. And you asked me to look at a couple of options and maybe moving the bed into the alcove and or maybe moving the bed onto this wall. And I've done all of that. And you've moved the bed into the alcove.
Yeah.
I was kind of doing it to show you that it didn't work.
For me, the option of the bed against that wall 100% does not work.
Why?
It doesn't. I don't want the head of the bed with a toilet on one side and a door onto the external yard on the other side. It doesn't work.
Give me what you don't like about it.
There is no way that you will get me to agree with that. As I said, I don't like that the head of the bed is beside a double glass door, slide door out onto a backyard. I don't understand how anybody would like that.
But if we move the bed into here,
yep.
I've drawn it as many ways as we possibly can. You're not going to get a wardrobe into this room.
And I'm okay with that for now. I don't want to fix anything at this point in the room until I know what works well for me.
But you've lost a major thing in the bedroom. You've lost the wardrobe.
Yeah.
So
I'm
bedroom,
happy to sacrifice that for now.
But a bedroom has two things. It's for sleeping in and it's for storing clothes. Mm-hmm. And we've lost one of the big functions.
Mm-hmm. Dermot, I have to sleep in this room.
Yeah.
This is my forever home. If I'm not comfortable with the bed up there right now, and I know in my heart and soul that I'm not going to put the bed up against that wall.
She does not feel secure with the bed head there. I understand now.
Yeah.
When you say you don't feel secure, it's a feeling that of the door beside you.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. I have to try and understand it and see if we can come up with a remedy. I certainly don't want Karen moving into a house and feeling insecure, vulnerable in a space. It's, a wardrobe isn't worth that. So strong the last time, it got me really concerned. You just can't ignore something like that. I've asked Joanne, her sister, to come down and just give us a hand coming to a decision on this, because I really feel if you get rid of the wardrobe out of that room, she is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I don't think it's necessary, but her reaction was so strong, I can't ignore it.
Clearly, this is no time to be lying down on the job. Oh, wait now.
What are you laughing at? This is my bed. This is to try and resolve the bed situation.
Yes.
And I don't mean the bed situation, I mean the bed where it is going to be situated. Okay, so if I drop this, this is where the bed is designed to go, okay? This is where we had it on the original drawings, okay? So just try it.
Yeah.
Now lie down, lie down. Where's the angst coming from?
It's just about being at the door.
So so it's about it's the fact that that's a door. If that was a window, would that change things as opposed to a door?
Probably.
Like if it was higher up, is it the fact that it can be opened, or it's down to the ground, or?
I have no answer for you. It's not logical.
It is logical. What you're saying is the fact that that's a door. It's an entry in and out of the building, and you don't like sleeping right next to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Option number 2. Hop in, Joanne.
See, I much prefer this.
Okay, so that's definitely an option.
Yeah.
Right, and then option number 3.
I'm more comfortable either against that wall or in there. However, I do realise there's a sacrifice of a wardrobe if I put the bed in there.
Which feels better or worse, over there or here?
I do realise the sacrifice if I put a bed here that I don't get a large wardrobe.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that would change my mind to put the bed over here.
So, what do you think?
I'd like a wardrobe.
Let's do it. Will we do it?
It's been a good exercise, just understanding if I do place the bed in where I am 100% comfortable in it, I lose the wardrobe. If it goes against this wall where I'm mostly happy in it, in that area, it's I gain a wardrobe, so.
The last element of construction will be to lay underfloor heating throughout the house, which will lead to the first stage of interior design, flooring. Today, Dermot, Karen and Joanne are headed for the showroom to consider colour, texture and material finish.
If you pick something that you like here, we can adjust everything else because the kitchen is going to be sprayed a colour, okay? So the only thing we can't change is the window colour, the navy, right?
Yeah.
So if we can get something here that works with navy, the kitchen then can row in with that.
Yeah.
We can adjust things. So we're slightly working backwards, but in order to afford something nice, we have to buy off the shelf.
Yeah. Well, I'm immediately drawn to that one there.
Go for it.
This light one.
Keep going, yeah. Wow, that is quite light.
Yeah.
They're quite Scandinavian.
Been looking at the Scandinavian idea in terms of flooring throughout the house, as I think it will allow for more scope in terms of bringing colour into walls or kitchens, etc.
I was thinking, right, I was harking back to like living above the shop, which is what the house would have been. If you were to be more in keeping with what the house was originally, it probably would have been a stained floor, something like that. Like you didn't see a lot of light-coloured timber floors. They either put down a dark stained floor or they put a carpet on it. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, and I agree with you, and I really like that one, actually. It's just working backwards. How does it work with the navy window? How does it work with the kitchen colours?
Well, don't worry about
because
the navy window is the big one, right? So let's pick up the colour there. Yeah, I think the two of them work. Either go Scandinavian and own it, or I would kind of hark back to a material that would have been used as an upstairs living room above the shop.
So the dark floor is not something that I thought would work with strong colours. However, being presented with it today, it leaves me with that option, or do I go the Scandinavian look or do I go with that dark flooring look? And I like both. So it's just a matter of deciding which I want to put down. I think both will work.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Come on out here. We'll have a look at this L sign. Just finishes it off, doesn't it? And it kind of brings it back full circle.
Absolutely. My dad's sign at the front of the house, that was something special to see going back up. It felt a bit vacant without it, a bit blank. The character's back in the home. That's it. I'm comfortable here. As someone said to me earlier, it's like turning a light back on the street.
That makes so much sense, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of like now you're home.
Yes, exactly.
For the first time since she was a child, Karen is once again living above the shop. Or at least the memory of the shop, because nearly every part of this building is new. Upstairs, overlooking the street, there's an elegant living space. To the rear, the glass wall of the kitchen frames a spectacular view of the countryside. And punctuating the two, an internal courtyard open to the sky, floods the entire first floor with natural light.
My favourite space in the house would be upstairs. It's the living kitchen area, it's the social space. Couldn't have guessed I would have a home like this.
It puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
The key design elements were turning the house upside down, living above the shop, getting those lovely long views to the front and to the back, because they are really special and they are what's so great about living in a town. It affords you to be very much part of the community. What's this like now as a gathering space for the family?
It's strange. It feels like the same home, but visually it's very different.
Like a home is just an envelope, right?
Yeah.
What makes it home is the views out. All of that hasn't changed.
No.
So its setting is exactly the same. Then we get our courtyard in the middle and then the view back out. That was your view growing up. So where your eye is drawn constantly in the house is back to the memories of the place. Oh, wow.
Dermot's definitely brought me on a journey, and he just opened up a vision of what is possible in this house, in this mid-terrace place that I would have normally gone. Kitchen downstairs, bedrooms upstairs. We'll leave it at that.
Because we've only got 2 rooms to play with and privacy was such a big issue, lifting everything up to the first floor gives you this amazing view from the front to the back, and it also gives you that privacy. So you're like, you can look out. There's no point in living in the centre of the town if you can't be nosy.
Yeah, I'm a nosy Nelly now. It was important to me that I worked with local suppliers and local providers as much as possible throughout the home. And this kitchen is very special because it's made by a family friend.
Yeah, it would have been better with the slatted. Do you remember them?
The joists.
The joists, the slatted timber, the joists, the exposed joists. These kind of debates we had, it kind of all seems irrelevant now, doesn't it? Because it's such a nice space. But I'm still hanging on to them, don't worry.
I bet you will. I saw what he was trying to achieve. And I just don't like joists. So I'm not going to put them in my house.
So this is the bedroom you fought for.
Yes.
This was the whole reason behind the courtyard, because once we added the third bedroom, that was it. We needed to get ventilation into it, and that introduced the courtyard. To get light into it and to kind of use the full length of the site, the courtyard became integral. It brings light deep into the middle of what is a really long building. It's a long, narrow building, and light is so key in that, and trying to get light into the middle. Like, we've no roof lights here, we've nothing. Yet it's bright, it's airy, and it's all to do with the courtyard.
So imagine if this house didn't have that internal courtyard as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It'd be a whole different
I drew it on day one. It was just, again, it was budget. I'm so glad we kind of pushed and fought for it and managed to squeeze it into the budget and get it done. And because it does mean now you can have a gang over it, doesn't it?
That's it, exactly.
Which is kind of, you know, there's two separate groups you wanted this house to be able to accommodate your family and your friends.
Yeah.
And those travelling over and back from London, just to have a space, and you wanted them to always feel welcome. And
that's right, yeah.
You've done it.
I'm delighted as well.
You'll be sick of looking at them, won't you? She did it. She stuck to her guns. She got to the end of the project. And it really is a credit to her. I'm just so happy that she's happy. And she is buzzing. Oh, wow. Little tropical part of the west of Ireland.
That's right.
Now, the bed. What's your train of thought?
Nothing is decided in this room yet.
Okay.
I need a little more time to figure it out.
Okay.
I just have to test this out in different areas. Yeah.
Would you know something, in the whole scheme of things, in the entire size of the house, the fact that there's only one room left unresolved in your head, because I did it.
I think that's a good achievement.
It pretty much is. Back to where it kind of all started. The front room, the shop, the butcher's shop. This is, I suppose, the ultimate repurposing, isn't it? Like, this was your dad's workplace. It's now yours.
Absolutely.
It's the most public kind of space in the house, isn't it? Because you are right out onto the street.
Yeah, you are facing onto the street. Again, very much at home. The noise, the passers-by, it's very much energy.
Okay.
That you'd get in an office space anyway.
Yeah.
So it feels quite a natural space to work in.
And like being back in the shop.
Yeah.
Karen did not just invest in a home for herself and her siblings and her family. She has invested in her family home. She invested in her family, but she's also invested in her town, Charlestown.
The whole project couldn't have been done without Brian Forkin and his team. They've been just such a support throughout the whole process, as well as getting it all done. And he's delivered just an exceptional home.
So look, on behalf of Brian and myself and Claire and everybody who worked on the project, you have done amazing. You've been an absolute pleasure to work with, and it has been brilliant to be part of the Mulligan family.
Her contract value was $345,000. Her budget was her real budget, and we ended up exactly bang on budget. We did get help, €95,000 worth of grant funding, which was a phenomenal amount of money. So that actually brought Karen's personal spend to €250,000. So we got €70,000 on the derelict grant scheme and €25,000 from the SEAI for the energy upgrade works. She was an absolute dream client. I've offered her a job. She starts on Monday. She's taken over my job.
Just thank you all for being here, for being in my life, and for helping me get through this project and get finally back to where it all started. So back on Church Street, back as one of the Church Street clan again. So it's great.
We do 3 cheers for Karen.
3
cheers. Well done.
Thank you so much, everybody. Cheers.
What an amazing journey to have gone on with Karen. She is an inspiration, and she is incredibly brave. She took probably one of the most difficult routes to building your own home, but she has built a fantastic home. She's built a refuge for herself. She's built a gathering space for her entire family. But more importantly, what Karen has done is regenerated a small part of the town that she loves. And in the way that dereliction can spread through a town, so can repair.